Locker room, guys.
Hold on a second. Got a little bit of feedback. How's that? Is that a little bit better?
Yeah, a little bit.
All right, here we go. Okay. So someone forgot to put the on button. That would be me. So I apologize. Again, if you didn't hear it earlier, we are here with quarterbacks coach and offensive coordinator Jeremy McDowell. And so give me an idea of the mindset of the team going into Eastern Illinois. What were you guys trying to do offensively, especially at the start of the game?
Well, we always like to try to control the line of scrimmage early and kind of set the tone with the guys up front and being able to establish the running game. And, Eastern Illinois did a good job up front and slowing us down a little bit. And we still were able to move the ball a little bit, and we had the turnover on the first down or on the first drive that obviously hindered things. And so, that's what we tried to do. We had to adjust a little bit, but hats off to EIU playing hard and doing some things there defensively early on, and really hats off to our defense that really kept us in the game and did a great job until we could kind of get going as the game went on there.
So what were they doing defensively that caused you guys to maybe not move the ball the way you expected to in the first half?
They were just doing a few things up front, playing some games and different things that we just didn't handle real well. And we were able to still get a decent chunk plays here and there. And that's the thing that we're just, really trying to continue to get better on our end, is just being, more consistent where, no matter what's going on defensively, we can regroup and continue to make those steps and continue to move the ball and, stay on the field and keep, help the defense stay off the field.
Being in the stands, I noticed that the wind wasn't as much of a factor up there, but the closer I got to the field on Saturday, the wind did seem to be a factor. Initially, it is listed it was about 14, 15 miles an hour. It seemed stronger than that at times. How much of that was a factor in any kind of the play calling on Saturday?
Well, definitely going into the game as warm-ups were going on, I thought it was going to be a large factor. And, as the plays developed and got through that second quarter, I'm not sure if it did have as much a factor on the game as I was intending, but there was a few plays where the balls, maybe hung up in the air a little bit longer, some different things like that. I know kickoff game and the kicking game in general, I think it affected it a little bit. But offensively speaking, I think, CJ handled it well throwing the ball, and it didn't end up being as big a deal as I thought it was in warm-ups. I agree, like you said, down there it was kind of whipping around pretty good.
Yeah, and it was when you guys actually were going against the wind that you got your first touchdown in the second quarter. Gino Hess with a 17-yard run. The changes between the first and second quarter, can you go into what those changes were?
Well, I don't think it was as much schematically as it was just, momentum. You kind of get a little bit of momentum, and we kind of capitalized on some of those situations. I know CJ hit on a couple balls, and Gino took a couple runs and capitalized on the guys up front doing a good job. So it wasn't anything in particular. We just kind of kept swinging, and finally, got a couple good plays to go our way. And like I said, really hats off to our defense that played well and kept us in the game, and gave us a chance to stumble around and finally get going and able to have a great second half.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about the defense. I know you're the offensive coordinator, but obviously you're keeping an eye on everything that's going on in the field. The defense had to rush out onto the field after the interception in the first quarter. They weren't able to keep EIU out of the end zone. They botched there on the extra point, but the defense did hold EIU down really for most of the game. Besides that quick of change because of the interception, they did a really good job. What were you able to see from the sidelines that the defense did really well?
Well, the yards and statistics are a little misleading because, our defense has done a good job of kind of the old adage of bending, not breaking type of deal. And I really felt like even when EIU got, was able to get a couple first downs, I thought our defense was making them earn it. And I think that plays a big part in a game as the game continues on. And so, they just, stop the run and make offenses try to throw it. And it's hard to consistently throw it in college football. It just is. And so, like you mentioned, the first turnover, which actually was
it's a tip ball.
Actually, it was a fumble.
Yeah, fumble.
They ripped it away and returned it. And again, the defense slowed them a little bit, and they were able to get them on that particular drive. But again, our defense made them work and earn everything they got, and they didn't get much as the game went on. So yes, our defense is playing great.
There are three aspects to every football team, and we've talked about offense, we've talked about defense. Special teams is maybe the one that doesn't get a lot of the, respect sometimes it deserves, unless things go wrong. You guys turned it around. The game turned around at the beginning of the second half with a kickoff return. Those are not expected. They happen few and far between for a football team. But when they do happen, how much does that really interject some excitement, interject some enthusiasm and some momentum into a football team?
Well, I mentioned a minute ago just the whole momentum piece, and really it just got our sideline excited, and we came alive. And the return game had been kind of struggling a little bit, it seemed to be, and it was really exciting to see them have success. And Shabari did a great job returning it. And like you said, we kind of just never really looked back. We grabbed the momentum, and we captured it and kept going. And we're so based off of momentum. It's wild. And so when we get it, we usually know what to do with it. So it was exciting when that happened. And guys, like you said, just pumped a bunch of energy into the sideline, and the belief factor went through the roof. And all of a sudden, the things that were not getting executed in the first half were, and there was not much change going on. But hats off to those groups on special teams for sure.
How, as a coach, do you try to turn momentum around in a game? Is there certain things you can do offensively as an offensive coordinator to try to generate that momentum when you feel like your team doesn't have it?
Yeah, we tend to really turn up the heat with our tempo piece. Once a play ends, we really try to get back on the ball as fast as we can, and really kind of put the pedal down, so to speak. And so that's the biggest factor. Yeah, some of the play calls, whether we're getting it out on the perimeter really fast, or those quick hitting plays that are high success, and then again the momentum and different things. Our players tend to break a little bit more tackles and all those type of things. So just those plays where you can execute at a high level, and then let our players be who they are, and it usually ends up in a good way. How
hard is it to maintain momentum in a football game?
It's extremely hard. It really is. It kind of seems like a short burst of energy, and you like you said, you try to capture it and try to hold on and ride that thing as long as you can. And the third quarter was good to us, clearly, and I don't think we ever really relinquished it in the second half. It maybe kind of went down a little bit, but hats off to our guys to execute and continue to play hard through that second half.
Yeah, you guys put points on the board on the offensive side of the ball in the third quarter. The defense was able to hold EIU in the third quarter, and so you were able to build that lead in that third quarter going with the wind. You had a little bit of wind advantage in that third quarter, and you guys utilized it. Did you see anything different in your offense in the second half that you did in the first half?
We did complete a couple deeper balls in the first half. I thought CJ threw it still well, and we just didn't make the plays when it's there, whether it's in our hands or whatever the case may be. But again, I think I just credit back to the momentum and that kick return that got us going, and the defense kept us going. That really spurred the second half more than any of the wind or anything like that. And so it's fun to be a part of the group when things are going well like that, obviously. a lot of smiles on the sideline, and again, you could just feel the energy, and took it into the fourth quarter and finished the game out.
And it was also homecoming. I mean, for those of us who are fans, I don't know how much of a factor it plays for you guys out on the field, but for those of us in the stands, homecoming is still a big deal, and to do that on a homecoming football game was special as well.
Yeah, it's just fun that you can play like that and put a good product on the field for all the alumni and all the friends and family and all the different folks that come out to a homecoming game, and so yeah, it's fun. I'm just so happy for our guys that we've been through so much this season, ups and downs, and they just keep coming back and keep playing hard and keep listening and keep working, and it's fun when good things happen to them, especially when they're they can look across there and they can see their friends and family in the stands, and it's just fun for everybody when you get a win and a win in that fashion on homecoming. So.
This is the SEMO Redhawks Coaches Show, live from Wings Etc. in Cape Girardeau. We're here with offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach Jeremy Mcdowell of Southeast Missouri State University. You guys have a bye week this week.
Yeah, we do. Much needed. It's the latest bye week that I've been a part of.
It's no fun having late bye weeks. It's no fun having early bye weeks either. Is there any way you can lobby the OVC to let's get one right in the middle of the season?
That would be nice. I know that, again, just so many things have been going on with this team, injuries being a big part of that, and it's really nice that we finally are able to kind of take a deep breath and relax a little bit, get some of these guys that are banged up a little more healthy, and just a couple days away from just the grind. It's been months and months that everybody's been on every day in a routine, and it's good just to kind of regroup here and just like Coach Took said after the game, let's regroup, and we've got basically a 2-game playoff to go win a conference championship. So get yourself ready to go mentally and physically and even emotionally, and be ready to go these final 2 weeks push here.
Yeah, we'll talk about those games against Murray State and Martin a little bit later. CJ Gabbana is going to be our guest later after the first break. Tell me what it's like to coach him.
Well, I love coaching CJ. You talk about a good young man, and there's just not going to be anybody better, to be honest. He listens. He's always taking notes, asking questions. He always has a smile on his face. You just everyone that is around him roots for him because of the type of individual he is, and by the way, he's a pretty good football player too. So, yeah, I love coaching him, and he's only going to get better. He's still young, which people tend to overlook, and they just want everything now, and we all do, and he does too. And but he's young, and he's constantly learning because he wants to learn and wants to get better and wants to be the leader and all these things, and that's what makes him great. And that's just to answer straight up, I love coaching him.
What we were talking about recruiting a little bit before we started the show, and what was his recruitment like?
Well, it was a short one because it was late. Going through the spring season, the quarterback that we had there, he had a good year and everything, and he could have came back, and he chose not to for whatever reasons are, and so we kind of evaluated the situation, early summer, and we started recruiting him, and he had a late year as well in the spring because they went and ended up winning the national championship in junior college. And so it was a short recruitment, and it just seemed right for both parties. And he did not get on campus until early July, and so that's half the summer gone. And so again, kudos to him for just diving in and learn the offense obviously, and got to know his teammates and build trust and all these things that come along, especially at the quarterback position. So he's done a tremendous job in the short amount of time that he's been here and been around our guys. So it's only going to get better as we continue on.
He was 9 for 16 for 197 yards and 2 touchdowns. CJ, I apologize for giving you an interception on that first one. That was not an interception. That was technically a fumble, sacked twice, but he also added 55 yards on the ground on 10 carries, including a touchdown. In today's football and in your offense, how important is it for the quarterback to be able to move not only in the pocket but outside the pocket?
It's extremely important. It just is. It's just the way that football is going, and And he just makes such great decisions. When to pull the ball, when to hand it off, and those type of things. When to throw it out on the perimeter. That's all coming from him and him making those decisions right at the moment. So his feet allow us to really make the defense respect the whole field, and so it's not just with his arms sideline to sideline or vertically, obviously. But again, you collapse down on Geno, which you better have some eyes on Geno or he's going to get loose. When that happens, those plays here or there, that's when CJ's at his best pulling the football. The touchdown run was a handoff, was called a handoff or a run play, and he read it correctly and pulled it, and there it was. So definitely just adds another dimension that defenses have to respect.
How impressive has his growth been, considering that he started late when it came into getting in here, and he's running this type of offense where he is reading what the defense is giving him? How impressive has his growth been this season?
Well, like I said, he's just always willing to learn and wanting to learn, and it hasn't been smooth sailing either. We played another quarterback as well here and there, and one thing I love about CJ is just he's never complained, never wavered with who he is as a person, and people feed off that and respect that, and possibly even work harder for someone that handles his business like that. So again, just can't say enough great things about him, and again, he's young and he's only going to get better, and we're excited about that.
I'm going to he just got his food here at Wings Etc., and I'm about to introduce him after the commercial break. I'm sure he's not going to be real happy with the fact that he just got his food put in front of him. But he's going to have to come in. So, CJ, I apologize.
He'll be all right.
You are listening to the SEMO Redhawks Coaches Show here at Wings Etc. in Cape Girardeau on SEMO ESPN 1220 and 93.5 FM.
Does having a game on the TV make a sports bar? Wings Etc. in Cape and Jackson beg to differ. They take their sports bar status seriously. Wings Etc. is the host of the SEMO Coaches Show every Monday from noon to 1. You can watch SEMO away games at Wings Etc. Plus, get lunch specials and daily specials like 69-cent wings on Monday, 69-cent rib tips on Tuesday, 59-cent shrimp on Wednesday, 69-cent boneless wings on Thursday. Plus, they've got free Wi-Fi.
CJ, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
How excited were you when you walked off the field with a W on Saturday?
It was a good feeling. It was good because it was homecoming win, too, so everybody was excited. And just getting that win, getting back on the winning board, it just felt good.
How much did you enjoy playing in the second half, maybe more than the first half? Because the offense struggled to get the ball, really struggled against EIU in the first half, but the second half was a lot better.
Yeah, the second half, it felt a little bit better. Like, once we got momentum after that kick return, everybody just started clicking, and it became, like, a little more fun. We started having fun, and I think that's when we started moving the ball downfield and scoring.
Was there anything specifically they were doing against you in the offense in the first half that kind of stalled the offense a little bit?
I think we got, like, what we expected we were going to get, but we were just playing a little bit slow. But in the second half, we picked it up and started moving the ball a little bit better.
As a quarterback, when you sense that, what do you try to do to get your team jump-started and try to make things happen?
I think the biggest thing is we just have to make a play. Like, you got to forget about what just happened the last play, good or bad, and just keep playing. And don't let one bad play just negatively affect, like, the next play.
I noticed that after the fumble recovery in the first half that you really did a good job of keeping everybody together and not letting that quick change affect the team. Has that been a growth for you this season, like taking on that leadership role as a quarterback?
Yeah, yes, sir, because I feel like in the beginning of the season, like when something would go bad, like everybody would like go down. But Coach Mcdowell's been trying to keep us up, and he's been telling us forget about the last play, good or bad, and just get it on the next play. Just keep going every play.
So where have you seen your growth this year? What have you improved on since you arrived on campus?
I think making decisions, that's what I've improved on. Like the preparation that I've been having, Coach McDowell's been helping me with preparation. So I think getting the ball where it needs to go, that's been the biggest thing.
You really are a maestro as a quarterback. It's your job to either hand the ball off to Gino, read the defensive ends, read what the defense is giving you, and decide what to do with it. So as that has been going this season, how comfortable have you gotten in that role?
It's been pretty good. I've been getting more comfortable with it, having the ability to do that, like the freedom. Coach McDowell gives me the freedom to pull it when I need to. Like, it doesn't have to be a clear, like, the DN dodge down on Gino, but if I think I could beat him, I could pull it and get some yards. So I think just having that ability to do it is pretty good.
Do you prefer as a quarterback to have that ability to improvise as opposed to just getting the signal from the sideline and saying, all right, here's your one read, go for it, this is all you can do? Do you prefer having the freedom to improvise a little bit?
Yeah, having the freedom to improvise, it helps because now the defense has to respect everything that we do. They can't just tone in on just one thing, so having that freedom is pretty good.
Let's talk a little bit about you. Coach McDowell talked about your recruitment here. I mean, you did win a national title last year in junior college. What was that transition like going from junior college right to Southeast Missouri State?
It was a pretty fast turnaround because our championship game was June 5th, and I got here July 5th. So just getting here, like, it was a quick turnaround, and just learning the offense, that was going to be the biggest thing. But Coach McDowell helped me. He gave me all the notes, and I took all the notes, took it all in, and I studied a lot on all the off time, so that all helped.
It is. I don't think those of us who are casual fans know the intricacies of all that goes on in football. I mean, I consider myself a football fan, and your knowledge of this game is so far beyond what mine will ever be that I don't think we all grasp all of the things that you have to do as a quarterback, especially in modern football. When have you felt comfortable? When was that moment that you started to feel comfortable about this offense? Was there a particular moment?
I would say during fall camp, because before, like, it was hard learning the stuff because I had to forget about my offense from my last school. So some of the play calls, like, we'll have, like, some of the names will be the same but, like, different things. So just trying to forget that and learn the new offense. So once everything started clicking, I felt like I was, like, a part of the offense for real.
You are a sports management major. What do you want to do with sports management?
I probably want to start like some type of business in management. So I'm taking management classes right now. So Something with sports, though, for sure.
I don't blame you. Yeah. Stay as much as you can. Yeah, stay with sports. How's life been in Cape Girardeau? Obviously, it's different than you went to Hutchinson Community College in Kansas. How big of a difference is Cape Girardeau from Kansas?
I feel like there's more to do here, so it's been pretty fun, and like just meeting all the new teammates and getting to know everybody. That's been pretty fun. Like they helped, they brought me in with open arms, and it felt good.
Here at Wings Etc., good food, great times, award-winning jumbo wings, popular for both dine-in and carry-out. A full menu featuring fresh-made burgers, wraps, subs, quesadillas, entrees, salads, smoked ribs, and more. This is the SEMO Redhawks Coaches Show at Wings Etc. in Cape Girardeau. I'm Ryan Tate filling in for Eric Sean. CJ Gabbana, the quarterback of Southeast Missouri State University, is joining us. I apologize for getting your food. I look over and I start to introduce you, and then I see that you get your food. Did you order wings?
Yeah, yes, sir.
What kind of wings did you get?
I got the sweet chili and barbecue.
That sounds like a good choice. I apologize for taking you over here now. That's my bad. So what are you going to do in this off week? You got a bye week this week. What are your plans? What do you do, and how much of it involves football?
I'm going to rest, watch some film, and just try and get my body back right.
And then you start looking ahead. Murray State comes up next on the schedule. Obviously, we all remember that game earlier this season. How then do you start to prepare, knowing that you guys have already seen them once before? As a team, how do you prepare?
I think we're gonna be able to see like what we need to work on. Some of the plays that we missed that we could have got, we can go back and watch the film, make sure we don't leave those off the board the next game. So this week coming up, it's gonna be big. So watching film and preparing, that's gonna be the biggest thing.
Yeah, it's a little unusual that a college team gets to see the same team twice in the same season. NFL, we see it all the time with teams in the same division playing twice. But for you guys, it is going to be different. So that familiarity, how much do you then end up prepared? Do you think that you're going to see similar type of things that you saw, or are they going to throw different things at you?
I think they're going to try and throw some different things at us, but I feel like whatever they try and throw, we're going to be prepared for it, because I think we played pretty good, but we left some plays off the table. So when we just watch the film, go back and see what we need to work on, I think we should be good. When
you see that on film and you have a moment where you're like, do you have those moments in film session?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Do you kind of hide? Do you put the hoodie up over and go, I don't want to see it? Because I'm going to do that after I watch this, because I forgot to push the on button for my microphones earlier on. So I know what that's like. Is it tough to watch that when you're watching film?
Yeah, it's definitely tough to watch it, knowing that you could have did something better, but you didn't.
And did you make Coach rewind the plays that are good? Like, let's watch this over and over again?
Nah.
Come on, we can't show the bad plays over and over again. We got to see some of the good ones too. Well, thanks a lot for joining us. I really do appreciate it. What kind of confidence then are you going to have after what you just had in this game? How are you going to keep that momentum? We talked with Coach Mcdowell earlier about momentum. How do you keep momentum going from one game to the next?
Yeah, I think everybody's ready to play, because we know we have like this 2-game like playoff to win the conference. So, and then this game just gave us extra motivation to keep going. So I think that's going to help us.
Well, good luck against Murray State in a couple of weeks.
Thank you.
CJ, thanks a lot for joining us.
Thank you.
You are listening to the SEMO Redhawks Coaches Show at Wings Etc. in Cape Girardeau on SEMO ESPN 1220 and 93.5 FM.
Does having a game on the TV make a sports bar? Wings Etc. in Cape and Jackson beg to differ. They take their sports bar
ESPN 1220 and 93.5 FM. Filling in for Eric Shawn, I am Ryan Tate. Filling in for Coach Duke is offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach Jeremy McDowell. All right, Coach. So you've got an off week this week. You've got a bye, and then we go into the Murray game. Last time you guys played just a few weeks ago, Murray won 32-31. We all remember what happened in that game. So what do you do as a head coach in a very weird situation? It's not often. We were talking with CJ about it. It's not often that you get to face the same team twice in the same year. So what are you expecting?
Well, we're going to sit down and, see what we did well, and obviously the things and the situations that we need to adjust or improve on, and they're going to do the same thing, obviously. And so that's the challenge, and that's the beauty of it, is going to be that kind of back and forth between the coaches as far as the game plans, and then seeing both sides, players wise, go out and try to execute those plans. And so the things, our core things and their core things, I'm sure will be the same, but it's those situations, the situational football that we talk about. What are you going to adjust, how are you going to handle those situations, and that, that's what's going to come down to, how each coaching staff, how each of the players handles those.
I mentioned earlier that I can be a football fan. I've been a football fan my whole life. You guys know more football than I'm ever going to know, the intricacies of it. How quickly do you get out onto the field and start seeing what they're doing defensively, that you realize that what you've prepared for is exactly what you thought compared to maybe what they're actually showing you?
Pretty quick.
Yeah.
Especially, most people have kind of a first, second down game plan, and so you tend to see pretty quickly what they're trying to take away and what they're trying to do to you, and then again, like I mentioned, then you get into those third down situations and red zone and those type of things, and again, you see pretty quick, but again, those situations may not come up until later in the game. So it's just a constant back and forth and adjustment here, adjustment there, and so that's what makes it a lot of fun, to be honest with you.
How quickly in a game have you ever gone and said, all right, we're going to do what we do, and then you just it's thrown out the window? Like that game plan that you had, that mythical Bill Walsh scripting of the 15 first plays or whatever goes, all right, that's it, we're going to something different.
I've never really thrown out a game plan, but definitely some things where maybe we were trying to do something a little bit out of our comfort zone because maybe the defense had struggled against someone else, and then you kind of just tires in the mud, just kind of spinning, and find it's like, let's just get back to doing what we do, right? Because at the end of the day, you are who you are for a reason, probably, and you want to go into a game or into a play, into a situation where your guys, your players are confident with what they're doing, so you can go execute. Not as much about the other side of the ball. So that is definitely tough as a coach because you're wanting to game plan against the defense, but at the same time, you are who you are. So and you don't want to lose that because it's not going to really matter if our guys aren't confident to be able to go out and execute. So you got to kind of keep that in mind and keep back and forth there.
Without giving Murray any blueprints on what they did well, what did they do well against you guys in the previous game?
Well, we know Murray's going to play hard and be sound in whatever they're doing, and I thought at times we played well, and then at times, boy, the last quarter we did not. And so, you change that fourth quarter, it's a different game, but you have to play it. And so we've got to find a way offensively there at the end of the game to be able to move the ball and, keep our defense off the field. And I'm sure the defense would say they got to find a way to stop them and so on and so forth, So as a team, we just didn't play well enough. We played well, but not well enough. And I know our coaches and our players are really excited to start to turn our focus to them. And the great thing about being on a bye is that we can kind of start to do that a little bit now. And they're still playing a game this week, so they're not going to be worried about us until this Sunday. And so it's a little bit of advantage to us, and hopefully we can take advantage of that.
The SEMO Redhawks Coaches Show at Wings Etc. in Cape Girardeau on SEMO ESPN 1220 and 93.5 FM. We're here with Jeremy McDowell, the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach for Southeast Missouri State. And Wings Etc. is famous for our appetizer lineup, including our ultimate nachos and spicy dip fried pickle chips. Daily half-pound lunch specials start at just $7.99. So if you're listening and you get kind of a late lunch, feel free to come out to Wings Etc. in Cape Girardeau or the Jackson location as well. With this late bye, it's not often you get this, so you've only got 2 games left, and we both know and we've talked about the importance of both games. Do you just start to look at Murray, or do you at any way start to look ahead to Martin as well? Or can you?
I'm not sure what the exact right answer is, but I'm looking at Murray. It's not going to matter. That last game won't matter if we don't take care of business this first one. So my attention, and I'm sure all of our attention, is on Murray, and I know it will be as we really dig in and start to prepare as we get closer to this weekend. But, it's all on Murray. We got to find a way to go down there and find a way to win. It's not an easy place to win. SEMO and Murray obviously are rivals, and it doesn't matter what the records are every year. You know that game's going to be a good game, and so Murray's going to be excited. We're going to be excited, and can't wait to get down there and play and see what happens.
You put up 21 points in the third quarter of the last time you played them. What worked out well? What did you guys do well offensively that you can point to and show the guys, here's what we have to do?
Well, again, for us, it always starts with our run game. Again, it's kind of our identity, and whether that is Gino or whether that's CJ or whatever the case may be, we need to be able to establish the run and excuse me, and then our play action and different things off that run gives us a chance to be explosive and move the chains and put points on the board and all those things. So again, it's always going to start with the run. How can we run it? How can we sustain drives? Move the chains, and then again, as you start to move the chains and your drives extend, then that's where you can play action and do some different things and push the ball down the field and take advantage of our receivers, matching up against their DBs. So that's where we'll start, and that's usually where it finishes. See how we can do that.
Yeah, it's. I know all of us are excited to see. You don't get a chance to do this very often. Face a team twice like this in a year, especially within weeks of each other.
Yeah,
I mean, it's unusual for everybody.
Yeah, it's definitely different, and we're all not quite sure how to handle every little aspect, but we'll figure it out. And at the end of the day, it's just football and getting our players ready to play and letting them play, and that's really what it's about. Once our guys have something to play for and feel like they're prepared, they'll play hard. They always do. They show up, and that's why just so proud of what we've been able to accomplish. Just because it's been such a crazy year with all these different things going on, and they just keep showing up. Our players just keep showing up and playing hard and keep swinging, whether it's gone their way or not. They just keep showing up, and so we just got to keep showing up. 2 more games. And we'll see what happens. But our guys will play hard, and we'll be ready to go.
You mentioned about putting them in a position to play hard. How do you get the team as a coach to play and react and not just think about the intricacies of a play call? Let us behind the scenes of a fan who doesn't understand that kind of stuff.
It always just starts with practice. As Coach Tuke always says, just practice makes permanent. So how you practice on a Tuesday, it's probably going to show up in some form or fashion on Saturday. So, we really put a lot into practice and just believe in practicing hard and being prepared that way. And, of course, it's not going to be perfect on a Tuesday, Wednesday. That's why it is practice. But as you get towards Saturday, now you're just cleaning things up, reminding things and different things of that nature. But, again, it's all about showing up ready to practice and believing in your work ethic is going to, make you prepared and have you prepared for Saturday and that opportunity.
So do the guys get a little bit of a break with a bye week?
Yeah, they have a couple days off. We'll still practice in the middle of the week here a couple days, but it's still a lighter practice. It's still just to not get too rusty, if you will. and it's a little bit more of getting to sleep in and some different things of that nature, where normally you have meetings on Monday at 6 a.m. and some different things like that. So just allowing guys to sleep in a little extra, a little lighter, couple practices, and extra treatments. I know that our training staff is available a little extra this week for those guys to be able to take advantage of those of that time, to get a little bit healthier. So everybody's bought in, whether it's coaches, players, staff, whoever, just trying to get ready to go for these last games.
How many hours a day do you put into football as a coach?
Everyone's different, and every day is different, really. Early in the week, obviously, it's going to be a little bit longer as you really try to get the guts of your game plan. A lot of goes in on Sunday afternoons, evenings, and then Mondays are, we're in at 6 a.m.
There's no day off, is there?
Yeah, no day off. Really, your biggest day off is probably your game day, really. Once you get the game over, you get a little bit of time to breathe a little bit. But it just is what it is, but it's not work, guys. It just feels like you're still playing a game, like, it's fun. Guys show up, and all our staff loves being around one another, so it's never any weird things in the office or things. So guys just show up and excited to figure things out and find a way to get a win and put our guys in the best possible situation we can. That's
you mentioned before we started talking on air that you love coaching and that you love being a part of it. And I suppose that isn't work then when you're showing up at work and no matter how many, whether it's the Dick Vermeil sleeping in the office or whether it's the Steve Spurrier, we won't have practice, we'll just go play golf, whatever that middle ground is as a coach, you love coaching.
Yeah, I think we all love coaching, and that's why we do it. And I'm not saying every day is roses, but there's some tough ones in there that you have to swallow. But it's fun showing up and putting your minds together and putting your energy together and all rowing the boat, so to speak, in the right direction and trying to figure things out. And so it's fun.
You just dropped a PJ Fleck on me? Is that what you did?
Yeah, I apologize for that.
I graduated from University of Minnesota, so that's pretty good right there.
Yeah, I'm going to regret that. But I did accidentally say that.
Yeah, you did actually
Coach
say
Duke
that.
uses a big arrow with all small arrows going in the right direction, so
okay.
I should probably use that instead for sure. So.
No oars are going to be started to be showing up at the on campus here at Southeast Missouri State. We are here at Wings Etc. for the SEMO Redhawks Coaches Show on SEMO ESPN 1220 and 93.5 FM. Did you order any food yet?
I already did. I already crushed it while CJ was talking. So
nice. What did you get?
Just some wings.
Okay.
Traditional wings there. So
food and drink specials throughout the week here at Wings Etc. Kids menus and family-friendly video games in the dining rooms, open 7 days a week, late on weekends, and when the games go late. And we've got more than 70 things on the menu that are not wings. I typically go for the sandwiches. I'm not going to lie. Sandwiches are pretty good. They're pretty good. Although the wings are good as well. We are here at Wings Etc. in Cape Girardeau for the SEMO Redhawks Coaches Show on SEMO ESPN 1220 and 93.5 FM with Jeremy Mcdowell, the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. We will continue right after this.
For more than 2 decades, Reed's Metals has been providing metal roofing, steel buildings, and all the
Kate Gerardo. You're listening to SEMO ESPN at 1220 and 93.5 FM. You also can watch the live stream on SEMOESPN.com. We are here with offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach of Southeast Missouri State, Jeremy Mcdowell. And Coach, one of the things that you do in an off week sometimes is you get to go out and recruit. So you get to watch some high school games. How has that been so far this year? And what kind of teams have you seen so far?
Well, we make it a point to get out locally for sure and try to hit as many games as we possibly can in the area. And, NCAA rule is that you can only watch a team one time. And so you kind of got to navigate through, our schedule when we're in town on Friday nights, then obviously, the high school schedule and where everyone plays and, and then there's definitely some local talent that we want to and need to hit or be able to evaluate in a game situation. So it's been a good year from that perspective because I know there's been a lot of our coaches that have been able to get out and see those recruits play, and we've had a handful of recruits that have committed to us. We were able to watch them, and some that we're still, recruiting as well. And that's important because, you can see guys in camps in the summer. You can see some guys on film, and that's all great. But, boy, nothing beats really the eye test, right, being able to get a live evaluation and just see how they interact maybe with their teammates, how they act on the sideline. Are they paying attention to their coaches? All these different things that you just don't get when you're looking at a film and seeing if are you wanting to invest all of our resources, our time, and our energy and different things into this young man or not. And so, to be honest with you, I watch all those interactions as the young man's coming off the field, on the sidelines, all those things. Even maybe more than when they're actually playing the play or the snap. And so I really think it's a big deal to be able to get a good live evaluation on these kids.
I think that's really important because I don't think that there's a lot of players, and probably the parents as well, that realize that interaction that you see when they're not in the game, they may not be playing, but they're still in the game, and what that looks like. And the old adage is somebody's always watching. And in today's day and age with cell phones and cameras, coaches in the stands, somebody is always watching, right?
Yes, it's no doubt. And, character is, the importance of character is bigger than ever. Now, because of, like you mentioned, the social media and all these things that, young people, they have to understand that it's easy to make a mistake these days. And so, we're evaluating character as much as the athlete. And so that just gives us a chance, an opportunity to see them in action and in the vulnerable state, if you will. And so we've taken advantage of it this fall. And Coach Berblinger, he's our new recruiting coordinator, and he's done an excellent job, coordinating all that out and mapping all that out. And hey, we need to go here. All these different places, and so it's been valuable for us this fall because, obviously we're worried about Murray, as we should be, but we're going to need to sign a whole bunch of student athletes here in December, and, we don't want to be behind the 8 ball on that.
This is an off week. It's a bye week. It's not an off week. It's just a bye week. You don't have a game Saturday. So do you have any plans to go out and see a game this week? And can you say if you're going to go out and see a game this week?
I'm not quite sure, so I will not say. But
we don't want them to know that you're in the stands.
I may definitely be going out. But like you said, as the season comes here to the end, it's tough because, like I mentioned, NCAA-wise, we can only see a team one time per season. So we're getting kind of close where we're running out of teams to go see, and but we do have a lot of the coaching staff out all week, different regions, talking with coaches, evaluating players, whether it's practice or later in the week games, whether that's junior college, whether it's high school, all these different things. So we're definitely putting in the work in the recruiting side this week as far as the coaching staff goes.
It never does stop, does it? I mean, you guys are always doing something.
It seems to be. There's always something to do, and but again, guys are excited about it. Guys were excited about getting rental cars and hitting the road because you're looking forward because you know that you're going to need new student athletes come December, January into next year, and we love to coach and play football, but you better have some good players, some good young men to be able to do that once you get there.
Is it easier or harder when it comes to recruiting with all of the video and all of the resources that are now available that was not around when you were coming out of high school and being recruited? Is it easier or harder?
It's probably easier, but there's just so much of it.
Right.
So maybe it's harder.
How's it different? Right. I mean, that's why I ask, because I can see both sides of this. It could be even harder information overload.
Yeah, there's just there's so much. I mean, we get flooded with, probably honestly almost 100 emails of, hey, check this kid out. Hey, check this kid out with film every day, and that's not even once we go and sit down with a coach or. And he has a list of guys that he'd like us to look at and all these things. So, yeah, it's definitely overwhelming, but you definitely have to prioritize and make sure that you're organized with how you attack that, because if you don't have a plan and you just kind of put it on default, you're probably not doing the best job that you can be doing. And that's why it's so important. Like I said, I mentioned Coach Berblinger a minute ago. He's done a great job of making sure that, things are as organized as they possibly can. We have boards and online and different things about who we're recruiting and who we need to keep an eye on and follow this guy, and different boards for let's make sure we get these guys evaluated, and so on and so on and so on. So definitely you could go off in a wormhole on recruiting, and we hadn't even started talking about actually coaching football yet. So definitely need to make sure you're organized and prioritize and do a good job on that, because you need good football players, you need good young men in the program to make the thing go.
We've all felt the effects of the pandemic. How did the pandemic affect you guys in terms of recruiting the last year and a half, getting this team ready for this year? Because we're playing in the spring, and some of your players were playing in the spring. How is that now going to transition back to quote-unquote normalcy?
Well, yeah, we went a while there without getting a live evaluations. We just spent a couple minutes on talking about how important those are. And so for a full class, we didn't really get to see guys with our own eyes. I mean, we had guys come into our program day one of summer or fall camp that I wasn't quite sure who is this again. And so it's been tough. And so, the chances of you maybe not being successful on a young man had gone up. It's just been harder, and so again.
Are you back to normal? It's
getting closer now.
Has the cycle come back to being normal again?
It's getting closer. I don't think all the way, but it's. I think we're sitting here this time next year. The answer would definitely be yes, because the off season is so important as well. Into the late spring and summer is a big deal as well. And so again, now we can get out and get our eyes on players, get to have face-to-face conversations with them and their families, and even the coaching staffs that are recommending these young men, because that's a big deal to me. I was a high school head coach for a handful of years, and it always meant something to me when coaches would ask my opinion and what I thought, rather than just kind of going straight to the kid. And so I know we do really value the high school head coach or the high school coaching staffs still more than ever, and evaluating the player and the person.
And we've got some good ones here in the region. Coach, you're a good one as well. Thanks a lot for joining us this afternoon. Really appreciate the time. Jeremy Mcdowell, the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach for Southeast Missouri State University, thank you for joining us here on the SEMO Redhawks Coaches Show, live from Wings Etc. in Cape Girardeau on SEMO ESPN 1220 and 93.5 FM.
This has been a proud presentation of Southeast Missouri.